So what we want to be able to do is just really go through some specific tactics and strategies on, if you're a business coach, how would you leverage some of the tools for social media. So we have an agenda behind us for those that are on live. Basically, we want to talk about content, and that's what Keri Ann's going to talk about that. And then we have a guest speaker, Brian. I'll let him introduce himself when it's his go time. And he's going to be talking about basically how to edit video and the power video. And then we'll talk about then kind of posting strategies, platforms, if you're a business coach, and finally just the engagement. How can you be leveraging hashtags and the power of tagging? So first, let's just jump in. There was a question that came in from Sarah Gast, and she had asked, what do you do if you get a negative comment? So let's just talk about that first.
A negative comment or review.
Mm-hmm. And this came through on her website.
Correct. So you never want to ignore the feedback that you're receiving. So addressing the feedback and promptly is really key. So it's important to acknowledge those negative reviews. So if you get a negative review, responding to it quickly is important, and then just not deleting the comment. I mean, the reality of it is we're all human, so it's okay to occasionally get that feedback when maybe you're displeased or maybe your expectation hasn't been met, so you can figure out how to address it and how to repair that and fix that relationship, or what you can do to resolve the issue. So addressing it is really important, and it shows out of character that you care about the outcome of your performance and your service.
And I think a lot of times people, when we look at reviews, think about your context of when you go through and you understand something as a review, if it applies to you. So if someone's complaining about the overall cost of something, you might just realize there's just a misunderstanding. So even though they give a 1 star on the cost of something, it had really nothing to do with the overall experience. And so the 1 star doesn't necessarily hold a lot of value. You find a lot of times, if let's say it's a 5-star review, you get a lot of 5s, you get a lot of 1s, and very few things in the middle. So it doesn't necessarily translate well. I think one of the most important things is, as Keri Ann mentioned, is that you responded in a timely manner. And what are you saying? Are you open to making sure that person's satisfied and addressing those things? So thanks, Sarah, for the question. And again, for anybody that's online on Instagram or on Facebook, any comments, suggestions, questions, feel free just to post them. Is there anything on Instagram?
No, not yet. Just people saying hi.
What's up? Hello, everybody. Okay, so why don't we just jump right in, Keri Ann, and you can talk about, for business coaches, the mindset that they should have what they should be posting about. That's a real big question that people have.
Mm-hmm. So when we think about content as a coach, whether you are a health coach, a fitness coach, we have another guest. Hi, come on in.
It's a small room, so it's kind of like
we're making it work. So content. So when if you're a health coach, a fitness coach, maybe you are doing life coaching as well. How do you, first of all, let's talk about what a coach is. I mean, in general. So a coach is someone who is in a leadership role. They're guiding a team, and when they do that, their leadership role is to inspire trust, help create that overall vision, and then create a strategy of what they're trying to achieve together in their role with their team, and then building that coaching potential in others, that leadership, those leadership traits in their team as well. So how do you do that? What type of content can you create? It's really about telling the story, and it's important to when you're documenting what you're working on, when you're coming into the office every day, or if you're working from home, if you're working with your team, what does that look like behind the scenes? All of those things are important because it's building up to what you're delivering as a team. So showing that behind the scenes stuff is really important because it makes you something other than a commodity, but something of a unique deliverable, of a unique team, and what you can share and provide and teach others together.
We have a question on Instagram.
Okay, Course to Talk says, what's a good way to grow your following and get more people engaged in what you're doing?
Okay, so what to increase your following, I think what we're talking about the strategies here of having we call it 4 pillars. So you have content, you have your posting strategy, you're going to understand the platform at which you are putting out your content, right? Whether it's YouTube or Twitter or Instagram or Facebook. And then finally, the last one is understanding how you're engaging with others. Are you leveraging hashtags to make sure that your posts are searchable? And then are you actually engaging with other people's content? That's going to give you the increased following that you're looking for. And it's going to be organic and it's going to be engaging.
And that's a really good point. So in order to be unique, your content really should be mostly just your original content, something that's coming directly from you. So memes are fun and they're great, and you can certainly find many of them on Pinterest, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, what have you. But you can also, I encourage you to make your own memes. And you guys, there's free apps for that all over the world. So, I mean, all over the place. So you can find meme creators in what you want to say, what's in your heart, what's original to you and original to your team. You can put that into a meme in your own words and share that. That way, you know, it's coming directly from the original source, and what you're putting out there is organic and it's true to you. It's, you know, you're being you, and that's what you're putting out, and that's what separates you from others.
And so a lot of times we were talking about this when we were looking at like coaching posts, that there's a lot of motivational quotes out there. So that's what, because people love motivational quotes. I don't know about you guys, but you know, you remember the old motivators. They, you know, you put them all over different business walls, right? Like leadership and teamwork, and so one of the things that I would encourage anyone, if you have a good quote, is make it your own. So instead of just reposting or regurgitating what somebody else has done, take that quote. Let's say it's by Stephen Covey or it's by Ziglar, and then put it on something of your own. Maybe it's a photo that you took, and you take that caption and you put it in there. Sometimes the easiest things to do is to use an Instagram on their stories. You can put in filters, you can change the coloring of it, and then you can put in different text, and you can make it your own. If you don't mind doing a selfie, I don't know if John's down with doing selfies, or you don't mind the photo of yourself and having the caption underneath. That's just another way to be able to, instead of using someone else's meme or someone else's GIF, then you can create your own, and there's a lot of apps for that, and it should be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. So documenting your story, how you're getting to where you want to go, all of those things are very important, because it tells the full scope from the beginning to where you want to be. So you just want to showcase all of the hard work that you're putting in behind the scenes. That stuff is it's good. Hi, Song. And then creating, using these tools, and we're going to talk about a few tools today that you can use to create that content and showcase your documenting along the way. So it's really just a full scope of how you're getting to where you're going and who's involved along your journey and why they're important and why what you're doing is important to others, and how if you're looking to grow your team, like if you're maybe if you're a health or wellness coach and you want others to be on your team coaching along with you, what does that look like? Why would they, as being a health coach leader, show them why it's great to work with you specifically? Your leadership philosophy, what it means to grow your team, what's the vision, and bring that along with you by way of your story and being original and unique. So
what about for people that are here or even online? What are some of your thoughts about some of the content that you could create in this space? Anything that's a little more specific? Because I think that's what people kind of get stuck on, is what should I be posting?
Some kind of behind the scenes look into your business, like I just got back from X place to post this, and they're a great bunch of folks. That kind of stuff.
Behind the scenes, yeah, absolutely. That's a really good one.
That's good, Camilo. Yeah. So Camilo was just saying, the behind the scenes look of, I just went to this place, and I had the opportunity to meet these really great folks, and this is the value that they added to my life today, and to what I'm doing and what my goal is, and then sharing that story. So that's great.
What were you going to say?
I was going to say the same sort of thing. Was like a journey coming up that you're planning. It's a huge journey. Documenting your preparation,
yes,
and then bringing the people along with you and taking them on the journey with you would be a great engagement.
Completely.
And so I think a lot of times people get stuck in that they've maybe seen someone go from, small town USA and then move their entire family of 7, on their own dime to, this tiny town in Bangladesh, right? Or not Bangladesh, or that's a huge city. Or a tiny town in, let's say, China. And then they think to themselves, wow, that was this huge grand gesture. I'm just taking my family, we're moving to Vegas. And so they almost tell themselves it's not that big of a deal, so then they end up not doing it. But to your point, I think a lot of the people out there feel like they're just kind of the average story anyway, and that's who we resonate with anyway. And so a lot of times you don't have to be, a paraplegic. You don't have to have these huge tragedies in your life to be impactful and inspire people by documenting out your journey of, hey, this is us moving. I got a job promotion and it's going to take us out to Vegas, and here's us packing up the house, and here's us. Of course, understand that you have your own philosophy towards posting up of minors and in your own social media, so understand kind of where you're coming from that context. But it can just be a great way to be able to see what are your thoughts as you move to a new community. Why are you choosing those schools? Why are you choosing that house? And so it can be really, really insightful to people on how you made your different decisions if they've never moved before.
Mm-hmm. And documenting your journey, as you mentioned, I mean, it's not always sunshine and rainbows. So if we have problems in what we are facing, being a coach, being a leader, really the online community is a great way to reach out and say, hey, other coaches, other leaders out there, this is the struggle that I'm having right now. Do you have any helpful input? Like, we're all resources for each other, and that's another great tool in our online community is asking. It's okay to ask for help and guidance in what we're doing, and that's why Sherman and I really enjoy doing this part, is because we are practitioners of these tools, and we're learning how to use them, and we're learning how to use them and sharing it with you so that you do too. But we want to resource, here and as well to our online, community as well. So it's really great when you're documenting your journey, not to only document the things that are going well, but the struggles too, because we give an opportunity then to learn from them and receive some from others.
Yeah, and I find documenting is kind of a way to be able to preserve your emotions as you're going through it. So I had a photo I was going to show. What did I do with that photo of my accident? So when I was 16, I was in a bike accident. And so I can describe it to you, but a picture, here it is. A picture paints 1,000 words, right? So this is me. I had shattered 5 teeth, ripped up half my face. It was just a bicycle accident. It was just silly. And so the value of that is that if I just tell you it, and it happened over 20 some odd years ago, it doesn't have the same significance as the photo of the time. And so if, let's say you want to be able to share with someone your struggle in the moment of building your business, of being a life coach, of being impactful, it's going to mean a lot more in the moment that you're going through it than 5 years down the road and you have, 50 paid clients, they love and trust you, but they've been working with you for over 5 years versus, and so when someone asks you, hey, what was the struggle like? It'll be a footnote because that was 5 years ago. And so that's really where I think it can be more of this legacy and much more impactful as you're documenting the goods, the wins, mm-hmm. and also the losses. So then, as we think about some more content, really, was there anything else that you wanted to add? The last thing I just wanted to say was just be as specific as possible in your journey. So you might not necessarily feel like you're the most creative person, and that's okay. I think it's okay to just say, hey, here's me writing out my plan for the week. Here's me, answering emails in the morning. Here's me, going to a networking meeting at night. And those kinds of things, although kind of mundane, that's really how businesses are built.
Mm-hmm. Like, I want to work with this individual because they have a direct intent, and they're showing their intent with their daily behavior, right? That's important. So that's one thing I would add to that. Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. You ready for Brian?
Let's do it.
Brian, are you ready? So
Sure.
Well, Keri and I both believe it's a show me world, and so we live in the power of video. And I think that it'll only get bigger. The quicker that our phones respond, 5G is the next big thing, and so we won't have this buffering issue that we have. So much is consumed on our mobile devices these days. Mark Zuckerberg even said in 2016 it would not surprise him if every single post or the majority of posts on Facebook are all video, and so they're putting a ton of ability in video on Facebook, and so 5 years from 2016 is only 2021, so we're not that far from it. It goes just much more rapidly. And again, if a picture paints 1,000 words, video paints millions. And so we want to be able to just show you some specific strategies that Brian uses in editing video, and give you guys a little bit of I don't want to call it tutorial, but get a little bit in the details for those of you that are trying to do some different things here. So we're going to move it over to Brian, and up to you, Brian, if you want to introduce yourself to the community, who you are. And
Yeah, I'm Brian Uyati from Happy Mac in Wausau here. And today what we're going to do, throughout the meeting, I've just taken a few random video clips, and we're going to show how easy it is to take boring clips of people sitting in a room talking to make an exciting looking video out of it. So we probably want to put the camera up on the screen. Close these.
yeah, I'll do that, Brian.
Get those closed.
I hope you can kind of see this. There we go.
Perfect. So, what we're going to use here, there's a program called iMovie that's available on the iPhone. You can get it on an iPad, on a Mac as well. On PCs and on Androids, there's similar software that can do these sort of things. And we're going to create something called a trailer. And all you have to do with the trailers, these are built in right within. I haven't pre-edited anything other than what I've done here in the class. So you simply start your. Start from the beginning. That was one I practiced on. So when you start, you just say start a trailer. Okay, and we're going to pick this theme. There are multiple themes to pick from, but we're going to go with the first one because I like it. And so now we can simply go into edit some text.
I like that studio name, Sizzling Bacon.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of
You can
difficult
almost
to
smell
see
it,
up
huh?
there. Sorry, guys.
All right.
So if you'd like to follow along, if you have an iPhone, you can go into your iPhone and select iMovie. It's an app that comes with the iPhone, and it should be on the platform of the face of your screen there. And what we're doing right now is we're making a trailer. So Brian took a few screenshots, and now he's just up here on the wall. He's gonna be using this to put it together, just to show you how easy and quick it can be to make a video of some of the content that you're creating as a coach on the side, whether it be showcasing your health and wellness, fitness. If you're coaching a sports team and you're wanting to document the progress that your team is making, that kind of thing, this is a really great tool to quickly showcase your story.
So what I'm doing here, I haven't done any planning for this video. If you look on the down there, it's asking the type of shots that it wants, because these are pretty much pre-edited. So it's saying put in a group shot, put in a wide shot, and you can put in either videos or still pictures. So we can look at the pictures that we just put in. Here's a nice group shot. And I'm not doing a whole lot of planning as far as what we're going to do on here. This is going to show how easy this is. Randomly say I want this chunk of video.
You're just moving the pictures right into the...
Yeah, these are actually just video clips that we're filling in all the holes, and it says how many seconds each one is supposed to be. So when I'm selecting these random videos, they just have to be long enough. And if you look when I'm selecting something, you can actually adjust what part of the video you want to use in it.
Yeah.
That's a nice action pose.
Yeah. I'm not really following the guidelines, but
Brian, while you're doing this, while you're populating these spaces, now I also have iMovie on my MacBook, and I actually created for our recent State of the Firm presentation. I made a 43-minute piece off of iMovie where I interviewed our staff to be able to tell, well, actually it was our new employees of just 2017 that recently joined our firm. And what I did is I created a storyline. I asked them some questions about their experience of working at Shank, and from the beginning to, if they've been here for 6 months, like, what has the experience been for them? Which it was really fun. They enjoyed learning about some of the other team members that they don't get to engage with on a daily basis. So I created this piece where we had the opportunity to learn about each other, about members of our team of questions we wouldn't normally ask each other every day, which was fun. And then we were also able to use those tools as a recruitment tool to be able to, when we go to college campuses and we're looking for new accountants, when we're looking for new human resources representatives to join our firm, then we are using that because we're saying, it wasn't planned, but it was like, well, here's some raw, feedback from our team as to why they wanted to work with us. So we actually were able to repurpose that content that we created for something else in a completely new way. So that was fun. So the opportunities really out there, are endless of what you can use for your content, because you can make some really different pieces with that. So Brian, tell us what you did here.
All right, so these are all just random video clips from the last 20 minutes that we've been sitting here, and I've edited together. So we could have just posted a picture of this meeting on Facebook, and it would have been just a static picture of people sitting in a room. Instead, within 5 minutes, I'm able to take and create a video, which we can now watch. And again, there's no planning in this, so the quality is going to be whatever happens.
sizzling bacon
Yeah.
present.
And you can customize the text and everything on there, but you're looking at what we were able to do there, that's going to get a lot more attention if someone's watching more than if we just had a static picture of everyone sitting in the room. So really not that much work to be able to create something that exciting. So and that was literally zero planning. The clips that I used in there were just me randomly shooting stuff. I don't even know what I was going for, and it worked, which is pretty awesome.
And so there's different themes in iMovie, right? So there's different themes.
Right. So this was their trailer feature, which basically says put a few clips together, and it's going to edit it and move stuff around and make it look exciting or make it look the way you want. So if you wanted to go in and custom make your movie and make it exactly like you want, you can definitely do that. It's a lot more work. Yep. But this is literally drop some clips in, put some words in, and now you've got an exciting video that you can share.
And what platform was that on YouTube?
This was a program called iMovie.
iMovie?
Which
It's available on the Apple platform. There are similar programs available on the Windows and Android platforms. From here, I could take this movie and I can actually share it to Facebook, share it to wherever I want. You can put it on YouTube, send it as a message, etc.
So another thing what I did is I knew what my vision was when I wanted to create my piece. When I was doing our State of the Firm presentation, I knew what I wanted to do. I knew what I wanted to showcase, but I was like, I don't know exactly how to use any of this stuff. So I knew I had iMovie on my phone. I just kind of took a few minutes to take some pictures of my baby and some video clips and kind of just to explore it. It does take some planning, like you get an idea in your head. That's why it takes so important to just think about what you want to communicate that into a strategy and make a plan. But I just called up Brian. I was like, I want to make this really great piece, like this pretty lengthy project. How do I use this tool? So I actually didn't make my iMovie on my phone. I had used my MacBook and did it on my laptop. Brian and Happy Mac actually offer some hour-long sessions. If you'll have to kind of go to this because I don't know how it works. But I used an hour-long session that I had received when I purchased Apple Care on one of my pieces of equipment. So I had an hour Apple Care session that was allowing me to get an hour free training with Brian. So I said, Brian, and he showed me how to use this tool. I went home and then I started working on it. It does take some time and planning, and it does take a vision and strategy, but that's all part of our game, right? So in order to be really effective and reach the people and the team that we want, it does take time and strategy. So planning is key.
Did you want to address that comment that she made about the 1 hour of
I don't know
how does that work?
Well, at Happy Mac, we offer one-on-one training classes on any subject with your computer, so you can come in and sit down with a trainer and work on a specific project where we can help out with that. It's not a structured class where it's specific topics. You have, Keri came in. She said, I need to learn how to use iMovie enough to get this project done. And instead of sitting through hours and hours of iMovie class, we worked actually on her project, and were able to get the project done that way. So.
Oh, excellent. So that's one thing that you definitely want to have just a look at is don't feel like you have to do it all on your own. Partner with people, ask questions. There's people probably in your community, online community, that know and have kind of used things. And one of the nice things on these tools is you just saw it there. Brian didn't break it. I think that's sometimes when people get a little reluctant. They're concerned that, oh my gosh, if I'm gonna lose all that content, and you won't. There's back buttons. It's saving it in another platform, so that way your video still is intact in your gallery, and so you're just editing it on a separate tool.
And the more and more you use these tools, the better you are at them. I mean, I started there, and now I don't need Brian's help anymore.
Yeah.
Sorry, Brian.
That's good.
But so along the lines of tools, so there is iMovie. There's also we wanted to also talk about a couple other tools that we like to use today, and one of those is View. So I'm going to let Sherman talk a little bit more about that.
So these are different ones that you can just find on your app in your app store. Vue, VUE is one that you can use. The nice thing about the free version of it is it puts in the bottom right hand corner a stamp of like your logo or your name. It does have VUE as well in the corner, but then you can also put music into it. And that's one thing that I would say you could hear the one that was already just pre-filled in for the iPhone, but music is extremely powerful. I did one where I took one clip and I put like 5 different songs to it, and it's the exact same clip, the exact same rate, but your emotion as you're watching this video is totally different when you use different music. And you actually think that you're seeing it differently. So if the music was really fast beat, you actually thought the rate at which, it was me just doing some push-ups, so you actually thought that I was going faster versus a slowed down song. You thought I was actually going slower. But yet it's just because the music makes you feel something differently. And so music can be extremely powerful as you're looking at, as you're creating video. And so if I'm a business coach, one of the great words that you use was repurpose. So a lot of times as a business coach, you are doing like a half hour, an hour session. Now the person you might be sitting across from might not want to be on the video, and then what I would do is I would get the phone, and if you don't want to buy a selfie stick or a tripod, I would just get the phone and lean it up against like a box and have it facing you, and then that way you can start documenting and recording what you're doing. And you can take that 1 hour video and then you can start splicing it into 1 minute segments, or as you saw what Brian did there, just these 1 second, 2 second segments, put it into that trailer method, and then now all of a sudden you have the ability to put that on Instagram, post it, and encourage people to go see the full content on your YouTube channel.
And the music is selected from a menu, or you can request a specific song?
That's a good question.
Great question. So there's certain songs that, like, let's say it's Beyonce or Justin Timberlake. He just came out with a new album. You can't use those without paying a royalty fee. So if you were to upload that on your video and then you upload it onto any social media platform, more likely than not it's going to get removed. Or if they can, they'll separate out the audio so your video will still be up there, but they can remove the audio because it's copyrighted. A lot of times you heard that video, it's completely computer generated generic songs, and so you can, a lot of times in these apps, John, you can find preloaded music that you can just upload, and then they're as simple as Vue is a nice one. I use another one called Power Director, and again these are free. And when you upload any kind of the video or the music, you can just hold down your finger and then drag it if you want it to go a certain length. You can edit the volume on it if you want it to be louder or softer. So if, let's say, you're talking, then you can reduce that music so that way it's softer to be heard, so that way it doesn't ruin the audio.
A way, John, that you could use this type of tool is, this morning we were at the Entrepreneurial Center on what is that, Stewart?
Right. No, on 72nd Avenue.
On 72nd Ave.
Right.
And I just thought of how you're looking for a position with a nonprofit, right, to help out like operations with that nonprofit.
Right.
So one thing that might get the attention of someone in that industry would be to make a little video of you and your skills and why you're interested in that type of position, right? And then you can put that on your social media. And someone, the likelihood of your interest in that industry and securing a position will reach far more people, because people are going to want to just check it out. It's a show me world, and people love watching people. Also, it would be a great way for you, to achieve your result by showcasing your talent, showing your attitude for wanting to help in that nonprofit sector. your skills, showcasing your knowledge, basically kind of sharing a little bit of an online live resume that is in your style, that's truly you. So that would be something.
You're basically branding myself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely branding. Mm-hmm.
And so that's exactly what personal branding, social media, you're your own public relations company. And so you can make sure that you're controlling what's being said about you. I go back to the coaching. It's nice to hear and to watch as you engage with someone else. So it's easy to say, hey, I'm a really good listener, and I can watch a video with you talking to. And again, you'll find, if let's say you have 50 clients as a coach, there's good odds that one of them is totally fine with you recording both of them in a session and being able to put that up. And you can maybe put a timer on the bottom, and you can showcase how much you actually listen as like a running timer in that 1 hour video or 30-minute video. And YouTube is a platform that people are used to watching hour, 2 hours even, of the exact same content. And so it's or they can fast forward it to it. That's the nice functionality of YouTube, is that they can fast forward 2 times the speed in watching it, so that way they can consume you a lot quicker. And that can be extremely powerful for a lot of people, is leveraging that to show people exactly how they coach.
Mm-hmm. And as a leader, I think of the leaders that I follow on social media and why I follow them. They truly add value to my life. I really appreciate learning from them. So, whether it be someone that is a life coach and someone that's a coach of the team, there's a lot of crossover that we can use in our environments. Regardless of what industry we're in. So if I'm looking to a friend of mine that's doing fitness coaching online, I'm seeing the way she's engaging with her team and how they're responding. We have the opportunity to learn from each other in that regard. How can I use that, what I am observing from these behaviors with her team, how can I transfer that into what I want to do with my team? What's working for her? Can it work for me? So it's really a great opportunity to learn from each other. But telling that story, the content is important. The consistency is important. The congruence, the humility in the content is, all of that really plays together to be one whole piece of your uniqueness as a coach and inspiring other people. So coaching, leadership, hand in hand.
Any other comments or questions from the group online as well?
So we talked about iMovie. We talked about Voo. I would say that incorrectly.
Yeah. Power Director is another app, and again, you can find a multitude of just different video editing applications. Whether you decide to download one for your laptop, your desktop, or just you want to do it from your phone, it's there. There's an entire world out there of different stuff that exists in order to make it easy.
Do the apps kind of lead you through the process, or do you have to kind of hunt and peck and search on your own?
A lot of times, the first time you're using these apps, they tell you kind of in a smart tutorial what these different buttons mean.
Pretty good tutorial. Okay.
Yeah, and it's pretty intuitive from the perspective that the icon that's like a film, it'll show you like a film icon. The one for music, it's music notes, and the one below it is just like text. And so it kind of helps walk you through the process of what to do. Kind of like the iMovie trailer already had it blocked off for you in these different segments of these titles of how they think that you can create the content.
And the more you create, the more comfortable you become. I still, I'm learning different tools every day. I download different things just to see how they operate, and maybe it'll work better for me than the last thing I tried. But it's so important to be original. So, instead of, like we talked about before, instead of sharing other people's content, go for making your own and use some of these tools and explore a little bit. Again, it takes a little bit of a time investment, but your return will be much greater because you're going to be having people join, your team and follow your coaching style because they enjoy working with you, and that's important.
And I'd say that sometimes people get stuck on wanting to edit their videos. So like, oh man, I don't have time to edit it. Then just post it up, unedited. Just post it up raw. People really like the genuineness. They like the sincerity. They don't mind that you're umming or you're pausing. You stutter a little bit because that's
They better
how,
get used to it.
that's how people communicate, And so that's where it's going to be more important for you to be able to have content to be able for people to consume than not. So I would err on the side of pushing out more stuff than not having this perfectly edited piece of content, because that doesn't exist, by the way. That perfectly edited piece of content, by the time it's really judged by you, it's not going to be as good as you thought it was. And if you're waiting for it to go viral, again, you just don't have any control on what people are going to resonate with. Man, I was watching the one video about some dude cutting cilantro the other day, and no one thought it'd be seen by like 150,000 people in a few hours. Mm-hmm. And nor did the person cutting the cilantro. They were just doing their job. And so I think for a lot of people out there, it's going to be easier for you to have stuff for people to actually consume than nothing.
Your cilantro thing made me think of, so one time Brian, a.k.a, who is our guest today, did a little Facebook clip of testing out different peanut butters. And I thought was so, I was like fascinated by that because he specifically talked about like how differently the knife enters the peanut butter, right? Like you can envision that, but it created the thought, I was like, yeah, that's pretty legit. Like I know what you're talking about. I tested out all the peanut butters and gave a review. Not that he's like, a super duper peanut butter expert, but I don't know, maybe now he is.
Right.
But I just thought that was interesting. It was so original, right? And it's not something that you see every day. And it was fun. You guys, we got to have fun in doing this. Mm-hmm. It's about supporting each other and like having fun, and that's what coaching is all about, and being a great person.
And so that's a great opportunity of the content, is that you can showcase your own personality. So if you're into golf, you can showcase that. If you're into, pottery, doing clay work, you can showcase that. I think it's a great opportunity for you as you think about your content, as you document and you're creating some different pieces, is just to be able to put who you are out there. And it doesn't mean that you should need to take photos of your food or of yourself. Just document what's happening. Anything else? Questions?
How would somebody actually, like, say if I did a film on branding myself, how would someone find that? Just by Googling nonprofits and it would pop up, or?
I would recommend that you create that video, and the length of the video too is important. So if you would be creating a piece like that, that's kind of like an online little resume piece, just showcasing what you're looking for and who you are. I would make it short and sweet, and I would put it on LinkedIn.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
And then also your Facebook as well.
Okay.
I mean, you have a lot of really great connections, John, and I think that
be proactive rather than
absolutely be proactive with
hoping
it.
somebody finds you.
Yeah,
You know,
why
okay.
not?
That makes sense.
You
posting on
have
YouTube is also a good place for that.
And YouTube.
And that's all free, so.
Right.
And then so
Good point.
well,
And it's all
here's
free,
one of
it's
the
fine.
kind of technical things is that in YouTube there's keywords, so you can put in there nonprofits, resume, your name, and so if someone's going to search that, number 2 most searched website in the world is YouTube, owned by Google. So the search functionality is really on point, and so that's going to be able to help that video be seen by the different words that you're putting inside of that video.
Okay.
Plus, you can put a description and a title.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing that I would do is, if you have a digital resume or a piece of paper one, is I would put that video that you've created on YouTube. I'd put that web address, so then people can find it. They'll type it in if they're searching for you, and then all of a sudden that video can come up. Mm-hmm. Obviously, LinkedIn's a great place for something like that. Just be able to show who you are. Good question. Anything else, anyone?
Is there anyone else that has questions like related to what they do and how they could use these tools in their coaching environment?
Okay.
I think with the videos too, your personality comes across, your passion comes across, or not.
Yeah.
People can really get a reading on you very quickly from your body language.
Absolutely. And I know for some people they don't like the way that they look or they don't like the lighting. That's when I would work with a guy like Brian who understands lighting. He understands, a right way to put a piece of content. So for example, when I think about like looking for a job, the problem is that most people, they went from looking from classifieds, the old version, to then just doing it online. And so I'll talk to so many, even kids right now in college or even, coming out of high school, they're like, I've applied to all these jobs. And I'm like, well, what'd you do? They just applied online. And I'm like, all that you've done is you've gone from the newspaper to the digital, and you haven't changed the way that you're doing it. It's a totally different game set right now. You have the ability to recruit, get to every single HR person, well, almost, I'd say like 90% or 95% of them, on LinkedIn or other social media platforms, and target directly, individually to them. It takes a little bit of work. You could probably figure out that their first name, their last name, maybe a dot in the middle or an underscore at that businessname.com is probably their email, and you can immediately send them that YouTube video. So instead of it being this reactive, hey, let people kind of come find me, you can totally go on the offensive and go get the attention of the people that you want. The other thing that I would say is there's a lot of businesses that use staffing agencies. Right. So it's really interesting to talk to those individuals as well. So you can really be much more proactive in searching versus the way that it was in the past. So, any other questions? Well, thanks again for coming, everybody. Thanks online as well. We want to be able to just let you know, again, every Friday, the Review Hour, we're going to be talking about different social media strategies. And again, bring your questions, bring your suggestions. We're practitioners, not experts, so we know that you have some different things that you're using that's making a lot of sense and as you're engaging with people. So I know in the next few weeks we're going to be doing one about getting a job, and Camilo here is going to be taking some photos for people. If you want to update your LinkedIn profile, or if you want a nice profile picture, he's going to be able to do that for folks. Also, we're going to be talking about the different platforms, specifically Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook business pages, Facebook personal page, Instagram business, Instagram personal, and how you can be using those different tools for those specific platforms for specific audiences and how that could relate to you. And so we really want to get into the details and help people become strategic in what they're doing. Amy just downloaded a review.
She's so awesome.
Okay.
Thanks for joining us.
You're right. Peace.
How many people were online?
It'll tell us in a second when we press end. So on. Hold on.